Welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Meringolo. He's Tim Strachan.
It's always great being with you guys here on a Tuesday night. That song, it's starting to really, it makes it feel like home.
It
Is that coming
does.
through?
It's really.
It
coming
sticks.
through one of your shows. We're playing it there. On it's picking up.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm down.
He's Kevin Ricca.
How? How?
It's always
Sorry.
great being with you guys
So
here on a
JV.
Tuesday night. Is that how I sound? God, I didn't really.
Mine's off. It
Coming
does.
through. It is. What is that?
Mine's off. It's not. I don't know what's happening.
I'll turn mine off.
Me?
I'll shut it down.
Guys, there's an echo.
How? Sorry. So JV.
Can the board hear it?
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
Mine's off. I'm off.
It's just so weird.
It's off. It's not. I don't know what's happening.
Playing on yours.
I think I know what it is. There's an echo.
Guys, there's an echo. Why do we all sound like
It's
such
over.
little
It's done. He did it.
guys?
Playing on yours.
Welcome to
Me?
Thursday night.
Was it me?
On behalf of
How many of those?
Second
have
Amendment
you had
Sports.
Some before you started.
No, I
Good
haven't. I had no
Lord.
idea what that was. That was so random.
We're gonna have
usually
to
pretty
have.
good at this,
We're
man.
gonna have to have a meeting
Yeah.
about our
I don't
pregame
know,
activities.
that was
I
a
think.
big screw up.
No echo. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, we are looking live in the First Amendment Sports basement. We made a lot of cuts today. The 53-man roster, while quote unquote still fluid, according to Adam Peters and the Washington Commanders, there's 53 guys who did not get cut today, and they made the team. We're going to go through those. We're going to talk about who. We're a little surprised to see their name get called. I think that there were a couple of those. To the extent anyone has any suggestions about guys who got cut somewhere else that they want, we can talk. Washington has the number 2 spot on the waiver wire, so we will get some. I mean, there's a guaranteed player coming our way, and it'll be hopefully the consensus first or second best player available. He'll be joining our team in short order. So the kind of opening thought to bridge the gap from the preseason games, air quotes games, into this dead space of nothingness before the regular season starts. I'm really coming around on. I know where everyone's trying to save the preseason. We've done it ourselves and come up with ideas to change it. But that last game of the preseason does have juice in the sense that you got 90 guys. Most teams, some teams are going to play some guys. Most teams aren't. And you're looking at, for the most part, 40 guys who aren't never going to make the roster in this place. And then you're going up against the 40 guys on the other side doing the same thing. I think we talked about it a little bit last year. I think it does. I think this game does have juice. Whether they go down to
They
2
played
games.
their starters. They played
They
starters.
did. They did.
They didn't have just 40. They came strong with everybody.
I know, but a lot of teams didn't, and I think that's the other cool thing about it is some teams will, some teams won't. But it's a dogfight because of what is at stake. Fewer games to get it done in. I like it.
Patriots are still figuring a lot of things
sure.
out. So that's why they
So
had
are we.
starters. Well, the great thing is, no, we had a lot of guys that didn't even play because we have things settled. Whether
35 of them.
yeah,
that's-
whether they're
that's a lot.
best at their position in the league or not, we'll find out. I'm just saying
Right.
we are in a position where we were able to not have to play our starters, which was great.
It was the most fun preseason game
Yeah.
since Babe Laufenberg.
Since Babe
Laufenberg.
Laufenberg. I agree. I agree with that, and I think they will go down to 2 games in short order. And that second game, that makes that second game even that much cooler and more fun because the same people who didn't play last night aren't going to play in the second preseason. I mean, they'll figure out how to get the snaps out of the guys they want get the snaps out of. But that last preseason game now is super fun because you can carry everybody all the way to the end. So everybody had to say goodbye to 40, roughly 40 guys today. That makes it real hard. I mean, in the Vinny years and the Bruce years, I don't think people were scavenging our cuts. They're like, hey, who's going to get away from Washington
No.
that we can grab? And I'm not necessarily saying that's happening now, but 40 guys per team that your department has to know. It's almost like the draft all over again. They probably have this huge board, and you got to know, especially when you're the number 2 guy on the waiver wire, you got to know who you want, and you got to know who you want right then and there. And that guy's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't really know how this all works. I have focused on our team.
Yeah.
so much, and I've not even paid attention. I looked to see if there's any major surprise cuts. Didn't think there's too much out there, but
No, I agree. I don't not a lot of surprise cuts. I do think there's players who could play for us that are out there.
I just don't know necessarily who they might be.
I don't either. Although what I think I do know is as we go through the lineup, I think we'll try at least identify who I think they are. I mean, there's definitely a few clear like bookmark players on this roster that if something prettier comes along, they get sent packing. Want to say good evening to J-Dubs, AGH, Ken Harris, Greg Martin.
NES Tecmo wants his Yankoff tea sponsored by First Amendment Sports.
That's true.
Colson. I'm going to start calling him CY. I'm so happy he made the team.
He's
so
good.
happy.
He's a good player. We've been talking. We talked about it for 2 weeks.
After
Obviously,
seeing him the other night,
he's fun.
I'm like, I'm not that surprised.
No, I'm not at all.
Dude can play football, bro.
I know. It's neat. And that juice check roll, he's going to be just fine. He's going to be a beast, man. He's a pretty cool cat, man.
He's a very physical guy with size and strength, and that things we were lacking. And also Dan Quinn, those are the two things he demands: physicality and strength, size and strength. I mean, Yankoff is a legitimate upgrade in terms of guys who we're going to put on the field.
And then the creativity behind this offense we'll get to see. But this guy was the #1 quarterback in the history of the state of Idaho. So if we want a little trickeration, I think old 6'4", 225 might be able to spin one down the field in the time of need as well.
Just another converted quarterback who's just happens a lot.
Let's go. I love it.
I'd like to see him get a kickoff.
He's a freak. Yeah, dude.
I'd like to see him get a kickoff return.
Listen, Dan Quinn said about him and Tyler Owens, you can feel their intensity and their speed when they play.
You can feel Owens through the TV.
It's he mentioned that about both of those two guys.
That is a dog.
That was his quote. He said those two, you can feel their intensity and their speed. And I got a little excited about all that. Way to go, Tyler Owens. He was like the camp champ, man. That was who we were all hoping. But we weren't hoping for him to make it. We were hoping he didn't make it because we were going to be so outraged because he was everywhere, man.
It was like he was fun the whole time. I figured we'd just get special teams out of the way. Trust Way, Cade York, Tyler Ott. I believe Jamison Crowder's our starting punt returner for the time being. I know that Igbenogany.
Get some rhythm in there.
Igbenogany.
If Igbenogany is going to need some rhythm back there at kick returner because he doesn't seem all that natural doing it.
I think this is where you don't tell anyone what you plan on doing. At least in the first game, someone else besides him is going to make a big play kickoff return.
Attaboy, Yankoff, put him back there.
I would. All right, so special teams not that great. By the way, random thought as we make our way through Tuesday. I found this gem of a graphic buried in a thing. So last year at early in the season, I believe the image was used to make us super excited about the fact that instead of Chris Olave, we got Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson, Sam Allen, Cole Turner. And today, only one of those guys is still on our roster.
We love him, though.
We do. We sure do. Plus a third-round pick that we got for Jahan. Plus, what do we get for Sam, the fourth?
Yes.
Plus nothing for Cole. So I still don't. I know people today are trying to.
Olave would have been fun.
Olave would have been a lot of fun.
Can you imagine Olave and McLaurin right now with this?
Olave was Ohio State, wasn't he?
But we wouldn't have B-Rob.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right. So, anyways, I saw that come across again, and I always got to revisit these things. Let's go. Let's pull this off. All right. Let's talk about the defense. Clellan Farrell and Dorrance Armstrong, your starting defensive ends. No surprise there. Javante Jean-Baptiste, the 7th rounder out of Notre Dame, right? Making the roster?
He's played at multiple places.
I don't know.
Yes, and transferred, I think, from, I want to say Florida State, but he finished up at Notre Dame.
Yep. So that's a guy we just drafted. So there's your, let's just call it your Adam Peters player.
I need binoculars. I can't.
I know. We covered the defensive tackles.
Here we go.
We got Payne and Allen, obviously. Johnny Newton and Fedarian Mathis and John Ridgway to round out 5 defensive tackles. It's interesting because they have 5 defensive tackles and really 3 defensive ends, although I know that we're thinking about guys like Dante Fowler and Jamin Davis as rushers. but in terms of your defensive linemen, what is that? 8 guys, 8 defensive linemen. That seems aggressive. I mean, you know what? You know what I was when I saw it, I was like, you know what? 8 defensive linemen seems a little thin, but that's what happens when you also have linebackers on your team. Like you gotta make room for
you're missing. Well, Jamin Davis.
Well, no, I'm saying
Where's he listed? I can't.
He's
see.
listed as an OLB and Dante Fowler. I know we were considering those as rushers. So the traditional makeup of the team, you talk about OLBs.
But that's 9 then, because I'm calling him a DN.
That's fine. Yeah. On this is from the Commanders.
His hand in the dirt.
This is the Commanders update this evening. So listed as an outside linebacker, he's going to be a pass rusher. But the thing is, we just didn't have any linebackers. Now all of a sudden we have linebackers, you got to make some.
We're making safeties linebacker. Dominique Hampton, another guy I love, and I was really hoping they find a spot for him. They got him listed at linebacker in certain websites besides this one.
Well, this is the Commander's website. Yes, so you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 defensive backs. No, I understand. But so that's a shit ton of defensive backs.
I'm an R-Lads guy myself, but yes, we got 6 safeties and 5 corners. Typically, we've had 6 corners in the past, but but listen, Tyler Owens is making your team, and Percy Butler and Derek Forrest. People were talking about them early on, maybe being on the chopping block, and no, those maniacs, they fly around and smack you in the face, and that'll get you on the team, and it looks like it did.
They're going to make up a big part of the special teams as well.
Agreed.
So that's why they
Owens and Hampton, same, right? They're going to be specials, and I think that's the difference. I think that this kickoff play made on our defensive roster. Obviously, we have whatever you want to call them, more actual linebackers than we have had in recent years. But that's a shit ton of big, physical, hard-hitting, sizable defensive backs, safeties, really, that are going to be monsters on punt coverage and kickoff coverage.
We looking at Armstrong and Farrell, both 6'4", 255, 265. We know Big Allen and Payne taking up the middle. We don't have to worry about them. But our linebackers, Dante Fowler playing on the outside at 6'3", 261. Bobby Wagner, 6 foot 241. Frankie Louvu, 6'3", 236. With Chim, 6'3", 220 flying around out there. And St. Juice, there's some dudes. Yep. Also, what I love about this defense, on our base defense, 9 of the 11 guys have started for 2 years or more. 979 games under our belt, 676 starts. People aren't paying attention to this, I don't think. And right up the middle, right up the gut, 3 Pro Bowlers, both our tackles and our middle linebackers staring you right in the face. I do believe our defense keeps us involved in games early and often this season. I can't wait to watch Joe Witt go to work. I'm looking at some serious athletes, and this is our starters right here.
And what did
experience is bonkers.
What did Bobby Wagner say about what he is looking forward to most about being in this defense?
Who he was looking forward to playing with the most? He said right away, Frankie Louvu.
Frankie Louvu.
Frankie Louvu. We all heard that, and I said
right away,
this is going to be something, man, because there's going to be some heads knocking out there in Landover.
But was it me or was that defense Sunday night not one of the most aggressive you've seen? I mean, just all night. There was not that. Now there's going to be plays made on us, but I love the
philosophy.
Yeah, I agree. Come make a play because we're gonna muck everything up. We're trying to get the ball back from you more than you score on us, and Dallas has done that. Is better than anyone in the last couple of years. So.
But the thing about a guy like Bobby Wagner, who is obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer, almost certainly, and he carries that kind of swagger too. At some point in time, he's going to get old and his skills are not going to be there, and he'll drop off and he'll become, he'll be on the Monday Night Football, telecast.
Who's this?
Bobby Wagner.
Oh, commish. He'll be the commish.
He'll be the commish, or whatever he wants to be.
He's going back to school. He said he wanted to be the NFL commissioner.
And I would love that for him. But he's not like he hasn't dropped off yet. Last year was his career high in tackles. He's had over 100 tackles every year he's ever been in the league. And again, last year was his best year. So, I think like this idea that that we got this aging guy to come in and babysit our young players. I think like people should be careful about thinking that, because like he's still every bit the all-pro linebacker, and him and Dan Quinn go back a ways, and they share a philosophy and mindset about the way defense should be. I'm pretty bullish on on what Bobby Wagner can do for us, like right away on the field between the whistles, without being, Mr. Let me tell you how everything works, guy.
Well, regardless, he's going to be that guy. He said it himself. He said the one thing I wanted to do is not talk about football and meet these guys as a person first, because that's more
Show
important.
you care.
Show you care and let them know you're here. You're a man first, and you're a football player second. And I was like, dude, coming from Bobby Wagner, you're the man, dude. You've been the man in a man's league for a decade, bro. I think people are listening, and I can't wait. I love hearing him, but I don't want to hear him anymore. We get to watch him on Sunday, playing in our colors. Him and Louvu, it's starting to get a little real. And I know we're 9 days off from the start of the NFL and 13 away from our, God.
We were so bad on defense last year. And I think I kind of, I don't know, maybe just repressed the memory. We couldn't stop anything. We couldn't, really, we were ineffective on the most important parts of the defensive game, and it just seemed like, if you really go back and think about it, I mean, we won 4 games for a reason, and our defense was a huge part of that reason. So the bar is not like super high for these guys. And I'm excited. You just start to expect the other team to convert third downs. You just start to expect the other coach to be like, yeah, I'm going for 4th and 1 every time again. You just start to expect things to not work because of the way they played last year. I like going back to the screen here, and I this isn't the one that gives us all the ways in which players were acquired. I had that, but that type was even smaller, Kevin. But again, the stamp that Adam Peters is putting on this team, and the stamp removal of previous regimes, and probably other parts of the roster were more impacted than that. But obviously, a guy like KJ Henry. Some of these guys who I think their biggest crime was getting drafted by the previous regime, and if we go on offense, I think it even gets more apparent. Here's where I think you start to see maybe a couple of bookmark guys or potential bookmark guys, but there he is on the Commander's site. Brandon Coleman listed as a starting left tackle. Well, love to see it. No surprises on the offensive line. So you lose Stromberg again. He was found guilty of being drafted by Ron Rivera,
or maybe just not being very good.
also that.
Which those two things might coincide.
I think you're both saying the same thing.
Okay. I love it. And for the defense,
well, I wasn't even arguing.
No, I know.
Yes.
So Chris Paul, Dieter, Trent Scott, Cornelius Lucas. How many offensive linemen do we keep? 9, I think, is the answer. Seems a little light, but
was Michael Myers Dieter on Sprockets? Was that Dieter?
Yeah, that was Dieter.
Now's the time.
Now we dance.
Now's the time on Sprockets when we dance.
You've lost me. Don't.
You definitely saw it.
Like when we were kids.
Oh, Hans and Franz.
No.
Hans and Franz.
Sprockets.
No, I don't remember that.
Mike Myers.
Myers would dance.
The German.
In the all black and the German with all the Simply Irresistible girls. No.
I mean, it was great. I loved it. I didn't get it right away.
There? Is anyone out there?
I'm not recalling it.
McLaurin.
Now is the time on Sprockets. All right, whatever.
Now is the time on Sprockets. What we dance.
We kept Dieter.
We kept Dieter. Terry.
I think we're paying him $1/4 Deutsch.
Tax free. Ozzy, Diami, Luke McCaffrey, Jamison Crowder, and I thought a surprise keep Byron Pringle. Although at some point in time, I think there's just professional football players. He's probably a classic guy who probably showed up here and thought, well, there's no way I'm making this team. Like the new guy is going to get new guys. I'm an old guy. He wasn't even the first choice of the Rivera regime. He was kind of brought in to fill some gaps there. Making the team is a good thing for him. I think he could be a possible bookmark dude. What do you guys got?
Bookmark?
Yeah, holding a spot. I mean, especially if obviously we make a trade, or if somebody becomes available on the waiver wire. I think of Byron Pringle. I don't know. Again, and I'm underrated.
He's our last receiver.
He's produced. I mean,
yeah,
he is.
I mean, that's the thing about him. He makes the catches, and he holds on for the most part. Holds on to the ball. He was a guy who played intensely this preseason.
And he's a good player. He's produced in Kansas City at a small rate when given the opportunity. He's no slouch. He's fine right there at 6.
30 years old and a professional. And I guess that it doesn't cost a lot of money. And that if you had to go to your 6th receiver, you're getting a guy who knows how to play the position, I guess. But I we'll see if he does actually stick. Let's talk tight end. I mean, talk about having 4 tight ends. I think a lot of people were surprised to see us keep 4 tight ends.
And also another verbiage.
Yeah,
it's not 4 tight ends. It's
4 guys who play like a variety of
exactly
H-back,
exactly. However you want to get what you need out of your
special
tight ends.
teams as well.
I mean,
that's where Yankov's going to get the bulk. I mean, he's going to be incredible on special.
No doubt. That's why he's on this. That's why he's on the team.
You got to also remember Zach Ertz isn't a spring chicken. So I mean, injuries are going to play effect. Sinet's going to be in there.
And we know Bates is a mauler at the line of scrimmage who can catch the rock. But I think Yankov's such a freak athlete. He's going to be a guy that can surprise some people coming out of that H-back slot, that H-back spot in the flats, catching the ball and turning up field. I mean, sheesh, man. I'm just so thrilled a guy like that. And we'll get to the running backs, but there's a couple guys out there that really stuck out to me as dudes.
I was happy that they felt comfortable getting rid of Cole Turner. And
they didn't really want to.
They didn't want to,
like that.
But at the last
they
second,
gave him an opportunity.
I feel like they made him better, a lot better than anyone else did.
He's playing in the league.
Years.
He will absolutely play somewhere. But unfortunately, he was drafted by Ron Rivera. But the thing about John Bates is he hits people hard. He's a ferocious blocker. He can, like you said, he can catch it, but he's a ferocious blocker.
But Bates was drafted by Ron Rivera.
And you know what? I didn't count it up. There's not many. There's not many. By the way, the other thing that stuck out:
16 guys that have been drafted are on the roster right now.
With that of any regime.
8 by us this year.
Yes.
It's 24 total. 16 by the rest.
Yep.
Who's the first guy drafted that made our 53? The longest.
Our longest tenured.
He was not longest tenured. Drafted longest to go by the Redskins.
So our oldest guy that we drafted.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead, board. Check it out. Try and get back quick. Whoever gets that first answer right quick gets a surprise from Ken Meringolo.
I like that. I mean, could it be Terry McLaurin? It can't be Terry McLaurin.
It could, but it's not.
It's not. Last thought for me on the tight ends is obviously Ben Sinnott. I think
Payne?
It's not Payne either.
Jonathan Allen?
That's 3 strikes and you guys are out.
We're out.
Sorry, it's up to the board now.
We got a Terry guess.
Not Terry. Don't go to the machine. No machines allowed. Sorry, go ahead, Ken.
I'm looking at the comments.
We didn't draft Tress. Tress was waived by, I believe, Chicago in 2014, and we signed him.
It's not Jonathan Allen. This was my trick question.
Reeves?
Not Reeves.
Alrighty, sir.
Remember, I didn't say longest tenured.
Crowder.
It's Jamison Crowder.
Yeah, because he was off the team and on the team.
2015 in the 4th round, right before Stephon Diggs was drafted.
I thought about that when you said.
Smart.
Yes, I knew. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
I like the idea that by next season we could potentially have a Sinnott Yankov situation a little bit higher on this ladder. 2 incredibly athletic, physical, strong guys. I mean, Sinnott can block, but he can also do a lot after the catch. Colson Yankov, I think he can do whatever you want him to do. We'll see if he's able to do it. The other wide receiver scenario. They got Oz listed here with no Kaz Allen. That was
interesting.
An interesting thing. I don't think.
Well, they were trying to mix him in at the running back position. Yeah. We saw him trying to find ways to get him touches at slot. So, and in the kick game, I thought maybe he would be that dude. But
he just can't. How many touches you gonna get him?
Yeah.
That's all. I think it came down to that.
I get it.
You can't just have one.
And it wasn't
guy
like he was
doing
like the
one
X
thing.
factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was good.
We got other guys that can fill that spot.
No, I wasn't shocked at all. I was just like, I thought he might stick in there. I don't know where a kick returner is going to be.
Kept 3 running backs. B-Rob, Austin Eckler, and Jerry McNichols, who actually ran strong and looked better than Chris Rodriguez, I thought, against the Patriots. Another guy who from the previous drafters. I thought Chris Rodriguez was kind of an intriguing guy but was he special?
He's mean and nasty like we like.
Yeah.
But McNichols made him look like a fullback. And the burst and explosion you saw from McNichols, you were like, whoa, wow. And then C-Rod, I like the dude, and he's a mauler, but he didn't have much burst.
And not a lot of wiggle.
Yeah, and he's a battering ram. He's a Samaje Perine. Shout out, he got cut today, but he's not. I guess he didn't fit. He didn't fit what we were looking for, and also he was drafted by Ronald.
I know we waited for the verdict to come in on that, but he was in fact drafted by Mr. Rivera. Adam Peters. I saw a clip of him when he was interviewed just after being hired, and they asked him what he thought of this. He's like, "What do you think of the roster? You're taking over." And there was like a 2.5 second pause. It was kind of like and it was like,
do I
awkward.
torch them now
Don't
or
say
do I
it.
torch them later?
Don't say it, Adam.
He clearly didn't think highly of it, and he clearly did. I thought, if you talk about turning a roster over as much as he's done in the time that he's been here, first of all, a lot of teams have shaken. We've been guilty of having 25 new guys and anointing ourselves. This is the difference. But he did it, and he's saying, my guys are better than their guys. So who's the Adam Peters guy that stayed on the team at the expense of a Rivera guy that you thought, not that was a wrong or bad decision, but you thought is a perfect example of why we're going to be better now because of this regime? Because I think McNichols is an easy, obvious answer, but I think so is Yankoff.
Yankoff Turner.
Yeah.
The Yankoff Turner scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out well for Turner. It sounds better than it went for old Cole, but I think that would be the Yankoff Turner scenario.
The Yankoff Turner.
Cole got yanked off.
He did.
I'm calling him CY. I was going to call him CYO. We got to call him something else. We can't just keep doing this to ourselves.
name.
We know we're not
It
above
is his
this.
name.
We're
It's
not
his
better
name.
than this. We're not better than this.
Can't change a man's name.
I know it, but damn it.
It shouldn't. His name should just be Yank. You know what I'm saying?
Yank.
Yeah.
That's not helping.
Is that not better?
That's not helping at all.
Just call him Yank.
Just one stroke, just one,
Yeah.
one yank.
Just
That's not no.
no. Okay. All right.
No. CYO's not
You think
good.
his nickname's Jerk?
No.
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 Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'm starting to see it now.
We can't outkick this coverage.
No, it's not. We can't. But
Oh, all hell's going to break loose once he.
And he's one of
once
my
he
favorite
muffs
players.
anything, it's going to be all bets off.
As soon as he made the team, I'll have you two know. I celebrated.
Did you? Did you his last name?
No,
Jay Yankoff.
I middled it. Colson.
Oh,
Colson.
kids! This is a reminder to go to bed.
Yes, it
This is
is.
school night.
Also, we will be calling.
And Colson's
High school
middle name
football
is
here.
better not be.
The dead period of no football starts now, goes all the way until September 8th, right?
Yes.
Was that 11, 12 days?
No, 5th.
Well, no, for us.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to watch all the other football
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
but
yeah.
my team,
Yeah,
our team doesn't play for what, 12 days? That's crazy. I think that's crazy.
We got high school football. We got college football. We got.
I know, but I just had to.
It's a journey, dude. It's not a sprint.
We
got a
just made
lot
the
of football ahead
made
of
the
us.
third preseason game into one of the greatest spectacles of all time, and now we're just gonna be like, all right, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
We've got Labor Day. We've got a big party coming up.
Oh
Sure,
yes.
we do.
And-
I know we're gonna be busy.
And I didn't know you're the chicken smoker.
Well, I have been known
Smoke that chicken, Ken.
to smoke a chicken or two.
I didn't know he's a chicken smoker, but
Can
I
you
love
not
his new.
smoke chicken. You can smoke chicken.
It's legal now, I think, recreationally in the state, obviously.
This is a no tight end zone. I'm just telling you right now. No tight ends can be mentioned throughout the course of this conversation. But
It's all-
T was doling out party responsibilities after we said, "Hey, please dole out party responsibilities," and I love mine. I got the
felt
burgers.
Like we needed poultry.
Ken got chicken smoker.
Smoked and stuffed. Smoked stuffed chicken.
Can you do a turducken?
There's gonna be some stuffing. We're gonna stuff
Can
some
you do
stuff.
a turducken?
I don't think I can do a turducken. I don't even know. I mean, I know what it is.
We're gonna research this after the show.
I'm not watching Ken stuff birds into other birds after this show. I can promise you that much.
Well, there's a place where they do it themselves.
Yeah.
Kevin.
I know, but you can't buy a turducken pre-ordered. That's ridiculous. Grow up.
Right?
You got to stuff that shit yourself.
It's true. T. It's true. John Madden taught all of us.
Some people are intimidated about stuffing a turducken.
Is there anything else in there besides the turkey, chicken, and duck? Is there like
spices?
Yeah, okay.
And I imagine some sort of lube.
There's a lot of
Lots of butter.
What are we? We're going to call it butter. Okay, fine.
Fine.
Butter it is.
Well, it's salted butter.
Basted.
It's never going to stop.
Let's see. I thought I saw. Yeah, what's up, Robert Cohen? Good to see you this evening. I mean, the Yankoff love is real. It's going to be real.
I mean,
we'll see him. We'll see him. We'll see
How
him.
can it not?
I know.
He plays every offensive position besides the offensive line
Yeah.
at an extremely high level.
Yep.
And he's smart as hell. He doesn't need to be doing this either. He's a brilliant dude.
Wait, did he go to Yale?
No, he was the number one quarterback in Idaho. He went to Oregon. He transferred from Oregon to UCLA. UCLA was going to use him every which way. They moved him to running back. He played tight end. He played wide receiver. Then he came back to a little H-back scenario, and then they called him the fullback his final year. He was just mashing people. 6'4", 2.25, athletic as shit, just delivering blows like repeatedly, and he's brilliant. So
Can you just imagine being like a 20-year-old dude in the prime of your life, getting a call? You're in Idaho at the time, mind you, and they're like
quarterback in the history of Idaho,
and they're like, "Hey, this is I'm calling from Southern California and Los Angeles. Like we're like literally like a campus full of the hottest girls in the country. We want you to come and be our everything guy on our football team."
Have you seen old Colson?
Yeah.
He's got just that bright blonde beach hair, crew flying everywhere, and he's ripped cold steel. I think he's been doing fine. I think he does just fine.
T, we might have a new contender for McVay. A new McVay contender. We'll keep it. We'll keep tabs. Time to start getting ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not fully on top of who they cut today and all the other crap that's going on. Baker Mayfield will be going to his backyard. You guys know how I feel about Baker. I think. So let's start talking about an actual football game. I know we can talk more about the team and the cuts and what you think is going to happen. I'm like Kevin. I have no idea who's out there that we want. I'm sure it'll be somebody. But now we're playing real games from here on out, and our first chance to get a win and to go 1-0 is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right off the top, even though they were a playoff qualifier last year, I believe they won the division. They're not. It's not like we're playing the 49ers. It's not like we're playing the Chiefs. This is a great week one measuring stick, in my opinion. A playoff team coming back, feeling good about themselves. They got a ton of talent.
I'm not scared.
But I think that it's a good opportunity. It's an opportunity not to play a Goliath team. And it's also, I feel like a lot of times, and maybe you guys, I feel like we've talked about this before, it always felt like our week one game was like Jacksonville or Carolina or some other team nobody cared about.
Carson Wentz beat the Jaguars, and we're going to win it all.
Yes. Buccaneers Commanders is like a legitimate NFC play. I mean, not that it's super sexy because obviously you still have 49ers and Packers and Lions and those guys, but Commanders Buccaneers, at least right now,
it's got some wild card feel.
That's a playoff
play-in wild card.
That's absolutely there's a playoff spot on the line. So I right away in week one, am I ever playing this at all? Must win maybe already?
I got people saying must win to me already. I got people saying must win, and I'm like, seriously,
it's a must win game.
Please, Lord, please, must win. How can you like?
It's so great. It's so great.
I can't.
A must win for your psyche, I guess.
Sure.
Wherever you are. you're saying it's a must-win.
I'm not screaming that. In fact, I'm screaming back. Must win. We
must play. We must play. We must see. We must see what our guys do. The cool thing about what's also going to happen, for the most part, the team that we watched for the last 3 weeks, outside of 4 or 5 series, was for the most part not our team. I mean, that's just the way it goes. We did see Jaden for some plays. We saw Terry for some plays. We saw some people for some plays. By and large, the team that plays on September 8th is not the team we've been watching on TV anyways in the preseason. So it's going to be, it's going to be cool. It's a whole new, it's like literally like a new series being launched with a whole new cast. It's a whole new
bright, shiny toy.
Yeah, different writers' room, different showrunners. It's all different. It's all different. I mean, and it's...
I hear the beer prices are the same.
Still the largest. I think it's still the highest in the league, I think like $19 for a beer.
That.
Yeah, but every time someone tells them to work on beer prices, they just raise it by $1. They're like, no problem, sir. We'll make it 20. They're geniuses, by the way. They could literally charge anything, and they'd get it. People just put that plastic down. Plastic is plastic. So first opportunity for Tampa Bay. Initial thoughts about playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to open the season. Give the floor to you guys.
I'm initially not horrified about Baker Mayfield, although I think he's solid and good. Mike Evans is a problem week 1. All of a sudden you're now game planning for a playoff game because this
only
is a big
if
deal.
Baker's not throwing it from his ass.
True, very true. Yeah. And they did have some issues up front last year. They're a solid squad. That'd be a hell of a win. I'm not saying what do you think? I don't even know what the point spread is. I haven't even guessed what it could possibly be, but they're going to be favored by more than 7. Would be my guess.
Do you think we're going to be? Do you think they will?
Yes. I think there'll be a 7.5 scenario.
Okay.
One of those deals. Let's feel out these Redskins. No one has a damn clue. That's gonna be
and nobody has any confidence. The national gambling community has no confidence in us.
I totally agree with you, though. I think it's a great first game for this squad because they are a playoff team. They are feeling good about themselves, and if these guys can come out and win the game, but also just be a contender in the game, I think that's all we really want to see in week 1. It's not a must win, but I think it's a great. It's a great. What's the word? Barometer?
Yeah, litmus test.
Great
barometer.
Yes.
I have no idea what
in terms of the
are.
matchup. I think it's a great opportunity for them. They're not going up against the Goliath. And it's not the Jaguars, or actually, Jaguars are better than they used to be, but it's not the worst team in the league.
They're favored by 3.5. So we're on the road.
Honestly,
road dogs. So basically what Kevin is saying is bet the house on the Commanders.
It's mostly 3.5 because nobody knows what they're going to see right now.
That's why I went with 7 and the hook because
no one knows what this offense is capable of doing.
On the road, plus another couple for not having a fudging clue. It's automatically 3 on the road.
And guess
they're
what?
calling this a pick 'em.
Tampa
they think
Bay
we're pretty
also,
damn good.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay also has no clue what the Commanders are going to do. Right? So, we have an upper hand going into this game knowing what we are capable of doing and nobody else really knows.
Is this Kyle Shanahan, New Orleans, RG3, 2012? All of a sudden, we're going to...
No, but
we're going to run that.
It's not what...
Yeah, but he had 350 or 300 plus yards
No,
that game.
I'm saying we jumped them with an offense that they had never seen. Kyle came out wearing that pistol formation. And
Pierre Garçon, who got hurt that day,
and we were running RPOs and throwing and slants to Pierre. Dude, we were all of a sudden.
Was Cooley in that game?
We're amazing. I have no idea.
No, we were amazing. I rewatched that 2 weeks ago, and I'm always amazed. So I remember watching that game. I was at a bar. I forget where I was. I was on the road, but I was always amazed coming out of that training camp because I knew. They were going to be we knew they were going to be running RG3, but that was back when I was actually, there was a pool. I think I've famously told you guys this. There was a pool amongst the beat reporters that summer on how many games RG3 would last because we saw them running him in training camp. And no one was allowed to say anything. Like John Keim and Jason Lockhanfora, they're like, no one says shit about this. That's how I learned the game. And then he comes out and throws it was 380 yards, or when it was some crazy 3 or 4 touchdowns right away, and we were all like, wait, what? what's going on here? This could be like crazy fun.
That's a fun game to play when you're a Shanahan. And you are a brilliant offensive mind, and Kyle drew some business up, and we succeeded that day. But I don't care about beating Tampa Bay by 30. I care about getting better, staying healthy, and if we could pull off a win, that'd be a huge momentum.
Awesome. I think I have.
And so it is 3-5. I have no problem with that spread whatsoever. I think that's crazy, though. I think that's crazy how they think that we could go on the road. They must be feeling some of the hype that we've been giving off.
Next week is the show where we go and we do our three column.
Let's do it.
That would be our main segment next week is picking the season wins and losses. We were really close to being right on it through like 2 or 3 weeks last year, and then we were not close at all. The idea that in the first couple weeks we could find out something along the lines of where Jaden what's Jaden going to excel at the most in those situations. So third and short, third and long, inside the 40s, outside the 20s. Where does he want to lean? How does he want to lean on Terry? When is he gonna how is he gonna find the tight end? Which tight end is he getting linked up with the best? I mean, all this stuff is because if he is as good as I think a lot of the national media are officially saying he is, Jaden Daniels, if he's that good, then those little things that's the difference between contending for a division title this year for the Washington Commanders or being like 8-9, 9-8.
Yeah, if Collinsworth keeps on talking about how great he's going to be, it's going to ruin. It's going to go ahead and ruin it all.
Can't stand him.
Why does he keep stop saying anything?
You don't have to talk every single time.
And
it doesn't have to be a full story between every single play. I think he's going to be at times underestimated by defenses because they're going to throw something at him that they think he can't handle. But I think his approach to picking up this offense and being a pro, if anybody tries to catch him, I'm going to be not surprised if he catches them, trying to pull one, and he does it not just with his athletic ability, but he does it with his intelligence.
The coolest part about that is that we're talking about a rookie right now going up against seasoned defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
And that's true, and I agree with you.
I hope. I think that's where we may have found our guy. If he can do that as a rookie.
There's always going to be a learning curve, but I think he's coming in at a way higher ranking than the typical guy because of what you're talking about, his athleticism, coupled with his supreme intelligence and his swag. He doesn't give a shit. He wants to go out there and make a play. He's not afraid to fail, but he's not going to put the team in a bad position as well.
Honestly, I didn't know anything about him when he won the Heisman Trophy winner. I didn't really follow SU. I didn't watch him. He kind of came on the radar late, but damn, I'm happy we have him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he may be. There's a chance he could be special.
I agree. Really special because he's got that brain.
I forgot about Alfred Morris, 96 yards and 2 touchdowns on that day against the Saints. Announced his presence and became an all-time Redskins legend for his performance that year. And I would say he definitely is a Redskins. In my opinion, he's a Redskins legend. He ended up being top 4, top 5 yards.
Legendary season.
He had a legendary season.
He had a good next.
But
year,
he ended up, didn't he? He ended up in the on our all-time rushing list. He ended up in the top 10, right? I think.
I don't know. His first 2 years were great. I agree with AJ. But his first 2 years were amazing. And then all of a sudden, someone stuck a fork in the Shanahans.
The Dallas game, the frigid Dallas game at the end of RG3's rookie year when the division was on the line. I think it was New Year's Eve. It's right, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Home game at FedEx. Frigid. Below freezing. Alfred Morris put the team on his back. I mean, RG3 had a good day, but Alfred Morris was the man. And when you are the running back who's responsible for beating Dallas for the NFC East, you shall be celebrated, in basements all around this land, as long as as long as Kevin's in charge.
Well,
Basements.
no, this basement. Everyone down here has always been a big fan of Alfred Morris. He was a great human being. We loved him. He was cleaning up after his teammates in the cafeteria his first day of training camp. Like,
Did we have him on the show?
we did. We talked to him. He was at a golf tournament, but he did not. He talked to us, but he did not talk to us with the cans. Yes.
5th in rushing over an all-time Redskins rushing.
I think that qualifies as Redskin legend.
Yeah, but it was a brief but meteoric,
Of
rise.
the Timmy Smith kind?
See, I
He's
think
a Redskins legend.
he's a Redskins legend too, and it's so then. But how high do you rate a Super Bowl 200-yard Super Bowl performance? You got to rate that pretty high, I think.
I think he was ranking how high he was, but at a certain level.
Sure.
Because, apparently, he was cruising that.
Was
day.
it 204? Is that
Yes.
204
Yes.
In a Super Bowl? That's gonna live forever.
It's
He ranks higher than
never
than Morris
before
to me.
and never again.
I don't disagree with that. I think if we wanted to really go that route, throw the stats out and put our guys in there, Timmy Smith is going to go higher than Alfred Morris to a lot of Redskins fans. I think. I don't know. I like to be in the situation
It's
and know
too
what I would do.
different.
Yeah.
It's
I
apples,
understand.
oranges.
Yeah. No, it's
I'm taking Alfred Morris.
okay. I mean,
We won that game by 1 million with Timmy Smith.
it's just so these guys are already off the board. Riggo's off the board. Bobby Mitchell's off the board. Clinton Portis becomes available.
Are we listing? I mean,
No. I'm talking about
just
guys.
say Sonny, so I don't feel sick.
No,
We gotta
running
kill him.
backs, running backs.
Good.
Just running backs.
Good. I thought we were just getting into a full-fledged. Let's start listing.
No.
the greatest of all time.
I'm trying to think because I'm I'm a Kelvin Bryant guy.
George Rogers, where does he rank with you guys?
Not high. Not that high for me.
Oh God, he was
He's a
after
beast.
Riggo. He was we fed it to him like freaking 80 times a game.
I like Terry Allen more than George Rogers.
I think Terry Allen had more success. He had two. He came off an ACL and had a great year.
Yep.
And towards ACL and came back, and he did his other one and came back in another great year.
Yep.
Then I think he did another ACL and then he was done.
Biner had some good years here.
Of course he did. Ernest Biner was a badass.
Ricky Irvins
Of course,
is
Ken
Go way
Harris.
back to Joe
Larry Brown was
Washington.
as good as anybody.
Larry Brown, yeah, for sure.
Well, no, I just took that from Ken Harris, but
Where's Ken Harris at? I don't have. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I got you.
Wasn't
Ken.
it Joe Washington, single
Stephen
bar?
Davis.
Joe Washington.
Oh, Joe Washington
was
was,
the
so
man.
cool,
Come on.
man.
Yeah.
These are all guys we would pick,
He was cool.
for sure, without caring at all about how many yards anyone had. We would say, I want that guy. I like I said, I love Kelvin Bryant. I just loved him. He's not going to go down as anyone's all-time great anything, but he was one of my guys when I was a kid.
I just remember my uncles were still waiting for him to hit somebody. Stop taking hits.
I always played Charlie
Get
Brown.
up.
I was
Stop
Charlie
fumbling.
Brown.
Get up and stop fumbling.
I was Charlie Brown out on the playground.
Okay, that doesn't
That's dating me.
seem right at all.
Oh, well, I know it didn't work out that way.
But okay, all right.
I wasn't allowed to be Joe Theismann.
My mom wouldn't let me.
So we never wore number 7 because we didn't want to be Joe Theismann type quarterbacks
No.
because our moms told us that he cheated on his wife.
I wore
never
tw- I
to
was
be
a-
that way.
I was
That's how we
28.
were raised. We were raised based on the social, economic, and political sanctions of the Washington football team and how
right.
they were doing it, and it was amazing.
44 and 28 were those were the
Yes.
numbers I chose to wear, and I love the number 7, and I've always worn the number 7 in baseball and soccer, all the way through high school.
Yeah.
But I never associated it with Joe Theismann ever.
So I only did, and I didn't want it, but now
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
I know a guy that lives in my house. He got issued it, and he was awesome. Taysom Hill, Tim Tebow. He wasn't thinking the pretty boy quarterback. That's what I thought was 7.
Danny
When
Werfel.
we came
was
up,
10.
but when he played for Denver, he was a number 7.
7?
Yes. Well, I mean, I've been told this, so I'm pretty sure it's also Taysom Hill is the new dude. At some point, if we want to put old Colson back at quarterback
So I've
and
been.
run the Taysom Hill offense, we could
I get so much
in our
shit.
2-point conversion scenarios. Way you
Taysom
look
Hill's,
at
I
it.
think, 31, 32 years old. He's been around for a hot second.
A yank off jump pass.
Yeah, but I think what he's saying, if you're telling me that you think, because Taysom
a
Hill was a
yank off
gifted
German
quarterback.
reversal. What?
Taysom Hill who was a better quarterback at whatever level they played that quarterback last at college? Was it Yankoff or Taysom Hill? And do you?
Taysom?
I think it was Taysom, but Taysom
No,
is
Yankoff never really played.
okay.
Like he became a football player, not a quarterback.
if you have a guy like Taysom Hill, and I think what like I'm always trying to remember like times when the three of us have talked about guys like that, guys who can do it all, but it's just not how the NFL works. You have a job to do. There's very few guys who can do more than one job, but there are guys who can do it. They do exist, and if you try to actively find them, you will. Sean Payton found Taysom Hill and figured him out. I think nobody thinks Sean Payton's a fool, and in fact, they think the opposite. So, I know you've gotten me all excited that we have a Taysom Hill possible
Greg
on our
Martin
team.
says Hill is useless and a waste of money.
I know.
He's one of the baddest ass human beings.
I
and
get
most fun
shit
human.
on for loving Taysom Hill.
I cannot gain more enjoyment watching the toughest son of a bitch on the field show everyone that he is. I'm not sure why no one would like to watch that, but
Everybody but Greg Martin doesn't get excited when
it's freaking thrilling
Taysom Hill
to
comes
watch
on
the
field.
baddest man on the television set act that way and watch other people get treated that way by a dude that does whatever he wants.
And he's playing running back now this year.
Dude, he's
Did
playing
you see that?
fullback, by the way.
Fullback and running back.
Both.
Yeah.
He's been the lead blocker on ISO in the preseason. He's caught balls on the flat. He has thrown the ball. He has run sweep. He's run reverse. Come on, dude. His skill set is of no one else's in the history of the league.
Because the thing is, at the NFL level, it hasn't. The physical stuff starts to really take at least a side seat, if not a back seat, to the mental side. Because that means he has to go to special teams meetings for punt, kickoff, whatever, all the ones that he's on. He has to go to quarterback meetings. He has to go to running back meetings. He has to go to tight end meetings. He has to go to the run blocking meetings, and he has to go to wide receiver meetings.
If anybody can pull it off, it's yank off.
It's yank off. You better believe it, T.
That's right.
That's now you're talking.
We will never win. We can never win. We're never going to win this battle. It's over. We lost. We're going to get crushed. We have to think of a solution, gentlemen.
All right. We're working on it. We have our best
Trust
guys.
me, I'm the worst. I'm like, every time. But I know this. When the baddest ass dudes in the league talk about Taysom Hill, they're like,
Yes.
So when man respects man, I respect that man.
He's got just mammoth arms,
Oh,
and he leads with them. And by the end of games, they're just like cut up and
The
sliced.
last guy I would like to tackle. All right,
He
remember
wants
the old,
to hit you.
The old Oklahoma's 10 yards away on your back. Someone blows a whistle. He's up before you're even turning your hips.
He
and he's
wants
barreling downhill and me.
Some of the, like you said, some of the baddest ass guys in the league, when they go to tackle players are trying to minimize what's about to happen to them physically. They're trying to get down or get over or angle themselves. Like, and I can just see like those guys, like a Bobby Wagner, some of these, big time awesome players, and they're running for him and like, wait a second. This guy's coming at me.
Yeah.
This guy's not. I don't think he's thinking he's about to get tackled. I think he's thinking the opposite.
And he is not well beloved in the fantasy community.
No, that's not true.
But
he's beloved.
I know, but it depends on one of your freaking weirdo leagues. In a standard normal league that there's no headshots or bottom shots, he is not.
He's a power bottom.
I'm just telling you this. As a football player, he is a throwback and a new school guy, all wrapped up in one freakish package. I would like to have a guy like that, but I know he's not Mr. Offensive Production. That's fine. Anyways, we've talked about the freak for enough.
Okay.
I just have fun watching him.
You can get just enough points out of him, by the way, in fantasy to make him worth having on your team. If you're not going to have...
See, but I can be a fan of him without having him on my fantasy team. You take these things personally.
Well,
though. I know you want to like write the tweet and be like, I just drafted you.
No, yeah. Well,
Dot. There's three things.
I just want to slide into his DMs and be like, hey, by the way.
It's the third league. This round I got you fifth. Last night was 6th and 7th.
Sorry to inform you that I now own you 5 ways. But
oh God, J-Dubs.
What's up?
I read it. I can't unread it.
It's going to be a fun year. All right, so again, we're done with the preseason in terms of finding out who's going to be on our team. We decided that we're done with preseason games. They're done. Next thing that comes our way is a live Week 1 battle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It gets real.
Next week, we'll do 2 things. We will take our way. We're going to make our win-loss record prediction, and then we will talk about. I think we're trying to think of something thematic that we can keep coming back to every week, like everybody like the.
Not our number 4 tight end.
Not our number 4 tight end. I want to make like bold predictions, but not as weak and or rip-offery as bold predictions. I want to think about the game that's about to happen in terms of, yes, we're going to win it, and I think we should have a season-long contest with regard to touchdowns. That was another thing I wanted to say. Every week, the 3 of us get to pick one player, and we will switch off the order in which we draft, and you only get credit for touchdowns. That's all it is. It's not yards, it's not catches, it's not anything else. As ball crosses the goal line while your player's carrying it, and we'll see who has the most touchdowns at the end of the season amongst the 3 of us. Next week, T gets to draft first, I get to draft second, and you have to go third in week 1.
Yank off.
All right, so I'm on the clock. All right, I know. Final thoughts, guys?
Ken, can we at least end the show before you're on the clock after T's urgent command? I love how you responded so fast, though. It's quick.
So I guess
That's
I'm on the
quick.
clock. I'm like,
T was like, oh, and by the way, here you
racing.
go. I'm on the clock. No, hands above the table, gentlemen. Hands above the table.
You took my guy. Final preseason thoughts, and then we'll be done with it forever.
Thank God it's over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Real football from here on
It
out.
was the least painful preseason. There was so much to be excited about, and at least walk around town feeling good about. And I can't wait to taste your smoked chicken on Sunday, Ken. Smoked chicken. We'll let everyone
Smoked
know.
and stuffed.
We'll have to talk about that.
Don't forget. And not necessarily in that order, but also
I
maybe in
know.
that order.
I
We'll
know.
see.
I know.
And also, yeah, I like the Rick and Morty episode that I would base it off of. The more hopes and dreams, like I want a wild chicken. I don't want a farm raised chicken. I want a chicken. You know what I'm saying? I want the chicken to have.
You gonna pluck this chicken?
Yeah, we're plucking it.
You gonna
We're
pluck
plucking the
this
chicken.
chicken? You ever plucked a chicken before?
Never. No. I
You
sure
give
haven't.
yourself 2-3 hours, boy.
All right, so question for you guys, and again, 1 minute too long, I know, but there was a show. It was. I'm going to ask you if you guys watched it, and
Was it entitled Smoked Chicken? Please go ahead.
It was a smoked chicken show. This show went down, I want to say, in 2000, somewhere in like the mid 2000s, like 2003 to 2006 or 7, something like that. And it was called. I think the show was called Kids Nation. And basically, and Megan got me watching this thing. And basically, what it was is they took, I don't know, like 40 kids, and they put them in like this Western town that they had made up, and they had no adult supervision whatsoever. They had to run their town, themselves, and for a long period of time. By the way, there was no season 2 of this show. It was hard to watch. As Megan and I,
No shit.
there was no season 2 of this show.
I already feel like there's someone coming in to handcuff someone for watching that right now.
They had to deal, like they had a chicken coop, and they had to decide whether they were going to raise the chickens for eggs or use the chickens to eat for chicken. And one of the kids who was on there was the son of a butcher. It was like a second generation butcher, and he knew exactly what to do. And so he was like, "We're doing." Other kids were like, "Wait, that's where chicken comes from?" Like it was like, and the guy's like breaking the neck of the chicken and plucking it and then cooking it. It was outrageous. Did you guys watch the show?
For
was it
those
just
of
me?
you who are still with us, we
Yes.
appreciate it.
Kids Nation, I think it was called Kids Nation. Someone out there
Go
watched
check
it.
out Kids Nation
Dude, it was.
on, I don't know,
Don't.
YouTube or something.
You just heard what I heard.
It was on like a major network, like
I wouldn't
CBS.
advise.
I can't even believe that there's still a channel. They're still on TV.
I agree with you, Greg Martin.
It was outrageous. It was outrageous.
awful.
And
have
they plucked
never-
some chickens.
Thanks so much for staying with us this
Yeah.
long, everybody.
Well, it's 59 and a half minutes, so technically we have 30 more seconds. He's Tim
This is so
Strachan.
bad.
Can't wait till next week. We get to start talking about real football. Can't wait just to be with you guys. Love Tuesday nights. Let's keep it rolling.
He's Kevin Ricca.
That's all I got, man.
That's all he's got. 7 days. We'll be back. We love you guys. We'll see you then. We are. What are you talking about, T?
T, stop trying not to chuckle over there. It got so weird. You just have to chuckle.
I can't get
Chicken
a wild
smokers.
chicken walk around going, Ken! Ken!
No, Ken's running after it. It's booking. You know how it goes. He's like, I'm going to pluck you. He's like, what did you say?
Hey,
I said, I'm going to pluck you.
Manner of speaking, that's what Yankoff says.
Oh, gosh.
wait. Oh, for goodness saking. All right.
What
yes,
just
kids
happened?
running a town. They ran a town, AGH. It was on CBS, and it was unbelievably crazy. And they gave out gold bars to kids for.
Okay. I've had enough.
There was gold
I have to
bars.
call my local
Quit
councilman.
now.
There were gold bars.
Hit the red button. Hit the red button. Hit the red button.
No, Jeff Probst was not the host, J Dubs. That
God,
host is
no.
also off
Red,
TV.
red button.
Oh,
Red
no.
Peace.
Oh.